Namaskar, this is Dr. Hemant and you are watching Learning Reti. So this is the first video of Learning Reti, and I thought that let me focus on renewables first, and in that series we are going to discuss global warming, and this would be the series which I am going to cover under global warming and climate change. We will have many more videos to come in this series, but let's begin with the very first question which arises and why we are talking about lots of renewables. So let's move to the discussion part. So we are going to begin understanding global warming and its impact. Again, as I mentioned, this is going to be part of global warming and climate change discussion series, and of course your comments and feedback would be very important to modify or update or further discussions and related videos on this topic. So this is again going to be a mutual platform where we can discuss and we can bring up lots of solutions, and lots of queries can be asked and we can answer through this platform. And of course Learning Reti have its own larger aim to cover lots of other aspects as well, but to begin with we are starting with renewables. So we have made the discussion part in 4 different actually questions which comes into everyone's mind, and these questions are the very first question: what is global warming, and then who is responsible for this global warming, and then we are talking a lot about greenhouse gases. Then we will see how greenhouse gas plays a role in this global warming aspect, and the very important question that how and what we can do to mitigate this global warming problem. So in this series, let's start with the very first question, and the very first question obviously is that what is global warming. So you know that this is the nature, this is how it behaves, like any changes to Earth's climate system that affects how much energy enters and lives into the Earth system, and that alters the radiative equilibrium of the Earth, and that can force the temperature to rise or fall. That both can happen, and this kind of surface temperature change is also known as global warming, as we are talking about here, and this is the result of Earth's radiative equilibrium destabilization. So now you understand that what is global warming. It is nothing but the Earth's surface temperature change due to the thermal equilibrium change of Earth because of various activities happening on Earth's surface, and how the atmosphere and the radiations coming and going out from the Earth atmosphere are going to impact all these. So when we talk about global warming, and we always keep hearing that temperature is rising, and if you follow the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is also known as IPCC, and then that say that the 2 degrees Celsius temperature, Earth's surface temperature, can be a dangerous thing, and it can impact the Earth climate very heavily, and we can see lots of natural disasters coming on this way. And already we are seeing lots of disaster which is happening around, like frequent coming of cyclones around the globe, and disbalanced temperature rise in certain months, certain years. The temperature keep rising, which we will keep hearing in the news, and even we expect much more rising, and the consequences will be very drastic. So of course, and the target, as it says, that 2 degrees Celsius is a dangerous warming we should consider. So if you say that last 100 years how the temperatures have increased on Earth's surface, so the estimate says that it is in last 100 years the Earth's temperature have gone up by 0.85 degrees Celsius. And this major rise happens in the last 3 decades. You can imagine that which is also known that pre-industrial era and the post-industrial era, which is typically somewhere in 1965. So you can imagine that since then we have seen the rise in the temperature by 0.6 degrees Celsius in last 30 years, sorry. and you can imagine the impact how it is going to accelerate, and it is not very far that we can reach the threshold of 2 degrees Celsius very soon, and that we definitely don't like to happen, because we are already seeing one pandemic how we are able to cope with, and that would be even more disaster. We will not have any control. If we are not acting now, it will be very challenging for us to tackle the problem once it is too late. So it is now we have to act and understand the problem well, and we have to act accordingly. So the very next question which comes now, we have what is global warming. Then we would like to know who is responsible for global warming. So let's see who is responsible for global warming. So as we mentioned that whenever we have Earth radiative equilibrium destabilization, and which is also going to influence, and that is generally known as climate forcings. If you call in one sentence term, if you say that the Earth radiative equilibrium destabilization influences are called climate forcings. So there are many natural climate forcings which we don't have any control. For example, the sun brightness, which is changing with time. Also, there are lots of large volcanic eruptions that inject light reflection particles as high as stratosphere, and that is going to influence that how the light is coming in and getting scattered, and going to increase the temperature of the Earth. So this kind of forcing can trigger feedbacks that intensify or weaken the original forcing, and this is again this is a very nature how the system works in here. So a very good example we can give for this kind of feedback trigger is like that loss of ice at the poles, and when this loss of ice is happening, then lots of water and lots of flooding we can see, and this ice melting is not good. But again, this is a part of balance, making the earth temperature equilibrium balancing, and again you can see that this is a forcing balance which is triggering, and this is happening because it can make the radiation less reflective, and then the temperature thermal equilibrium of Earth can be stabilized. But again, it have its own consequences which we don't like. So of course, the nature will go its own way, and we have to work on it so that it can behave as we live here happily. And there are lots of things which we are responsible for. For example, the man-made climate forcing, which is one of the major aspects which are always keep talking about, and that's where we can contribute, and there we can minimize the global warming part. So what are the man-made climate forcings responsible for global warming? So there are 3 important points which I have mentioned here. You can see this the very particle pollution, aerosols which absorb and incoming sunlight on Earth. The next is the deforestation. We have seen lots of deforestation around us. For example, I have seen in my place earlier there used to be lots of trees around us, but now I can see hardly there are trees, and you can imagine that the speed how the deforestation is happening, and that is also causing lots of problem in aspect of global warming. And of course, we keep discussing about rising concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, which are very much responsible for how heat is radiated in space, and how they are absorbed in atmosphere, and that is going to cause lots of severe problems. So there are many important greenhouse gases. For example, you can see that water vapor, carbon dioxide, CO2, N2O, and fluorinated gases, which absorbs and emit IR radiation. So among all greenhouse gases, CO2 is the most dangerous greenhouse gas, and we will discuss again why CO2 is very dangerous among all. Of course, all greenhouse gases should be minimized, but definitely particularly CO2 should be of main focus here. So if you see the concentration of carbon dioxide in Earth atmosphere, which we call, as I mentioned, that 1965, which is also known as the boundary of pre-industrial area, when the CO2 concentration in Earth atmosphere was less than 300 parts per million, and now today the concentration have crossed the boundary of more than 400 parts per million. So you can imagine that in last 30 to 40 years there is 100 parts per million rise in CO2 concentration itself. And if you see the statistics published by International Energy Agency IEA in 2018 in its Global Energy and CO2 Status Report, and it says that in 2018 itself we have added around 13.8 gigatons of CO2 in the atmosphere because of our other related activities for living, which is of course man-made, and that should be minimized. So again, the very crucial questions comes here, that how greenhouse gases play a role in global warming. Okay, so as I mentioned, that important greenhouse gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases, they are all responsible for absorbing and emitting IR radiations. And particularly if we talk about CO2 and water vapor, they are the greenhouse gases which are highest concentration in Earth atmosphere. For example, the CO2 concentration in Earth atmosphere today is more than 400 parts per million, and water vapor concentration is more than 3000 parts per million as per the available statistics in this area. But most importantly, the CO2 concentration rise is very dangerous, and it may disbalance the Earth's energy budget, and that is very crucial. And we are going to see next why CO2 is going to how CO2 can disbalance the Earth's energy budget. So here you can see a very important graph which I have found from website. You can see the link here. You can download that this graph. You can again see. So as we have seen that Earth, the sun, the main energy source for us is the sun, and the temperature of sun typically around 56 to 5800 Kelvin. And if we see the black body radiation of that temperature, you see something spectrum like this, as you can see this envelope here. And again the Earth's temperature typically currently it is in the range of 210 to 310 Kelvin. And if you consider a black body of that temperature, then you will have emission in this this area. So of course the radiation is coming in Earth atmosphere, and you can see lots of here lots of area which are not blank. So these are, you can see from here, these are the absorption by water vapors. And this is why the spectrum, when just outer side of the atmosphere and the inside of the atmosphere vary. So this is one aspect, that lots of radiation is being absorbed by the water vapor, but that is not our major concern. Our major concern is that when they are getting radiated back from the Earth atmosphere. So you can see that the main emission from Earth atmosphere happen in this above in the range of 10 to 13 micron wavelength range, where you can see that mostly the water vapor part, this region you can see is mostly transparent by water vapor, but there are other gases which have available very minor concentration. If their concentration rise, then this will be a major challenge. But CO2, if you see this happening near 12 to 13 micron, That is dangerous, because this is the matching window. Here you can see this window is matching with that where the earth is radiating most, and if the concentration of CO2 is going to increase in our earth atmosphere, it is going to disbalance the radiative properties of earth, and it have to balance somehow, and then there will be lots of climate forcing happening to which is going to trigger lots of feedback actions, and that's how, like, we can have lots of cyclone, melting of the ice on the poles, and that is all going to happen, and that is going to impact the climate very adversely, and the human race as a whole, or the, you can say, all the living creature as a whole on earth are going to be impacted by this. So you can imagine that how CO2 concentration increment is going to impact us in drastically. So the very next question is that what we can do to mitigate the global warming problem. So the answer is clear. That very first thing, that we have done lots of deforestation, and now it's time that if you want to mitigate global warming, then we have to do the tree plantation in a greater number, and I can see lots of efforts have been taken in this area, and that's a good news, but it have to be ramped up very soon. And of course, if you plant a tree, it is going to take at least 10 to 15 years to come up and to be contribute enough to mitigate this, but we have to act now in this area. The next thing we can do is that reduce pollution, use clean and green source of energy. That is very important if you want to minimize the CO2 emissions. For example, the greenhouse gases, like we are now moving drastically to electric vehicles. Of course, the electric vehicle is useful when you are going to get the energy from renewables, not from the natural or the conventional energy sources where we are using again coal to generate this kind of electricity. So that is again going to be very crucial. So of course, all the fossil fuels burning wherever you are using, that is going to create lots of CO2 emissions, which is not good. And here it is there is a graph from BP. You can download. You can see this graph from BP.com, and this put the scenario like today we have generated around 33 gigatons of CO2 emissions, and as I mentioned that the pre-industrial area in before 1990 we had that CO2 concentration in the range of 20 annual CO2 emission was 20 gigatons, and if you want to reach that range by 2040, then there are certain aspects we have to follow, and the major contribution in CO2 reductions comes from power sector, and then you can imagine that how important it is to maintain the power sector very well, so that greenhouse gas emissions contribution coming from power sector can be minimized, and there we can contribute a lot. So where we are talking about lots of solar PV installation, and of course the electric vehicle promotion with the renewables is going to be a key aspect in this area. And again, there are other factors like you can increase the activities in industrial and transportation, and that can help you minimize that impact. So in summary, you can say that role of renewable energy source become very crucial in mitigating the global warming. So the important learning here I can tell you from all the discussion at this point is that global warming is a global challenge, and it is going to impact everyone living on earth, and increased usage of renewables should be the way forward to mitigate global warming. So with this video I would like to thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed and you got lots of interesting information, and please help me to make it better, and of course for the society, for us, for to generate awareness, please spread the word, share this video, share the message, so that it reaches to the appropriate audiences and they get motivated and understand the problem and what we can do, what they can do to solve the problem. And of course definitely put your comments and feedback in the comment section, or write back to us from the appropriate channel, so that we can take those questions and we make a much better video and incorporate much more information which can be valuable information and can somehow generate awareness and can lead to better understanding of the problems and the mitigation problem, and in a long run we can save our earth, save our living creatures, and we can make harmony with the nature, and we all enjoy the happy life for our coming generation. We leave a very good earth for them. So with this, thanks a lot.